Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah, Staples Center, welcome out. Moto X Best Whip. It is on. Give it up for all the riders, LA.
Oh, yeah, LA, you love it. Who have we got first, Brad?
All right, well, first up for you, he's known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the most winningest racer in the history of moto, Ricky Carmichael. Owns the gold medal from X Games in Best Trick at X Games 10. From Texas, riding a Suzuki. Let him hear you, it's Chuck Carruthers. A super smooth, calculated rider with technical whip skills. Out of Wildenauer, California, representing Honda, it's Josh Grant. Your bronze medal winner just last year in Best Trick and a member of the militia. Representing Temecula, California on a Honda, it's Todd Potter. This man took home the X Games gold medal for Best Whip in Dubai. Out of Fallbrook, California, getting it done for KTM, it is Ronnie, Who's Your Daddy Renner. He has fluid and smooth style with an impressive bag of tricks. From Cherry Valley, California, riding a Honda. Let him hear it. It's Milo, Miles Richmond. Make some noise for all the riders coming up in Best Whip.
And there you have the Murderer's Row of Best Whip competitors. Something new and a little different in Freestyle Moto X. Cameron Steele, Brian Deegan, and Tess Sewell hanging out up top here, getting ready for the action in Best Whip. And this is something that I love. This is the original trick when it comes to freestyle motocross. Throwing the whip, getting the bike sideways, throwing it out. If you're Brian Deegan, you throw the no-legger whip. Brian, this is going to be a good time.
This is old school, going back to DeCoster, Bob Hanna, Danny Magoo Chandler, the
Brad
OG,
Lackey,
Brad Lackey, the bad boy. Hey, these are the original whippers. Bring it to X Games. Let's see what's up.
Tess, I mean, there could be tricks here. We have some trick riders, but it's coming down to the best whip.
These are not the old school whips, though, because what if somebody goes upside down in whips? Does that even count?
Yeah, no, I think any kind of whip. So you're foreshadowing maybe a Todd Potter whip flip. Look at this right here. Ricky Carmichael, are you kidding me? At the X Games, he will be in the step up. He started out in the jam session, throwing the factory Suzuki totally sideways. Here's how it's going to work. 2 sessions of 5 minutes. All the riders are going to ride in a jam session type format. You, at home, that's right, you can read the top of your screen there if you don't like listening to me. Text 43776 in the U.S. only, and you can pick your winner of Moto X Best Whip. That's right. You'll get a ballot back, and you'll get to send in your vote. So we're all going to vote. You can vote right there. Josh Grant doing it up. Now he's a racer. He comes from the Geico Power Sports Honda team. And then we got a freestyler who we just saw take home the bronze medal in Best Trick. One of your boys, Todd Potter. Ronnie Renner, who we recently saw get inverted on the Santa Monica Pier. The jam session is kind of kicking off now. They're starting to get the feel. They were kind of slowly slowly getting into it. Now they are going to be throwing it upside down.
We got a really diverse field here, from freestylers to the best racers in the world. I mean, Josh Grant, he's a top 5 national and Supercross guy. Ricky Carmichael, period, is the best, whipping it both ways. On a 450, that's way heavier than the other bikes. I'm just stoked to be here.
I was going to say, everybody was kind of stoked because Todd Potter looked so different, whipping it to the right. And then Ricky comes out and he's like, come on, anyone can whip it to the right.
Yeah. We'll try to ID them as they go. This is Josh Grant running his national number of 20 that he runs in the AMA. This is Todd Potter throwing a different type of whip. You saw Josh Grant throw it sideways and upside down. Potter throws it completely sideways. So, Brian, there's a number of different styles of whips going on here as we see Ronnie Renner invert.
I think this is Ronnie Renner's actual event. He's kind of known for his whip. He's kept his deal alive with it. I think he's going to be here trying to win this event. I mean, he was doing it for the Red Bull at the pier. I mean, Renner definitely throws it down on the whip.
You got to love it. Ricky Carmichael, a guy who had never hit a steel ramp until yesterday.
Oh, Carruthers! Oh, Carruthers! Yeah, he's down. He's down. Carruthers is down.
You're like the fat guy, fight guy. It's like the MMA comes to freestyle motocross, and he's down, Brian.
He's down.
He's trying to look for the Renner whip here. Look, he's trying to get it really inverted, and
it's over. He cased it,
decked it, and high-sided. Here's Josh Grant coming around. Ronnie Renner has also come around to make sure that Chuck is all right. You'll remember that Chuck Carruthers is holding on to a gold medal from Best Trick, which we just witnessed just about an hour ago. Kyle Loza taking home his second ever gold medal in that event. So Chuck has one. He invented a trick called the Corolla. He was the first to ever do a body burial on a motorcycle. And that was a different version of the body burial. That's the body burial to Dirt Kiss.
That was, and the bike looked like it ended up a little worse than Chuck did. Yeah. Chuck's up and going, but
you're supposed to ride that thing. You're supposed to ride it. It's a dirt bike. You don't push it.
Brian Deegan getting critical later in the evening here at X Games 14. Now, Brian, you have 10 X Games medals. Winning any event is a huge deal at X Games. Do you think that the guys that haven't really competed at X Games, which really would mostly be Josh Grant, do you think he understands the magnitude of what he's involved in here?
And really, I think
Miles Richmond.
Miles is good, man. He can turn it down. I actually like the turn down whip better than the regular whip. The turn down is where you come off the ramp, turn the bike backwards to a full 180, you're coming in backwards to the landing, and you turn it back last second and say, what's up?
The number 4 signifies Mr. Carmichael has taken to the arena. Remember, he has whipped it both ways, out to the right that time. Previously, we saw him go out to the left. Josh Grant now. Not a very big whip, but the thing that's tough about whipping it on the ramp, and Tess, you've seen a bunch of different guys go for the whip. You engage the ramp, you see Todd Potter's seat bouncing there. If you don't quite get the whip, you're hitting it really hard. You can over-jump the jump if you don't get all the scrub off the top that you're looking for.
Way over-jump this thing. I mean, you've got to try and carve into that ramp. Remember, the ramp is only 4 feet wide, so you don't even have a lot of room to carve into this thing. You've got to hit it off the top well, because as we saw in Best Trick from Mr. Loza, there's an awful lot of run out here.
The deal with whipping it off a ramp, it is a short distance. I mean, every time you go for a whip, you gas it hard, you end up landing a little long. So
Carmichael a little short there. Now 5 minutes is the first jam session. I understand we're going to take a small break. Let the guys take a rest as you see Josh Grant. He's got a lot of color to that gear there. Potter all the way backwards. Remember, text your vote. Text X to 43776 to get your ballot, and then you will make your decision. You will vote A for Carruthers, B for Grant, C for Potter, D for Renner, E for Richmond, F for Ricky Carmichael. Carruthers decking it. What about Miles Richmond? Backwards. Is he doing a 180? He and Todd Potter are going nuts. More whip when we come back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Staples Center MotoX best whip going on straight down in the middle of X Center. We'll be sending it back to Dana Jacobson in just a few minutes, but first, Cameron Steele, Brian Deegan, Tess Sewell having a good time. It's always a good time when dirt bikes are thrown down, and we've seen them throw down. Chuck Carruthers actually threw down and went down. How hard are they pushing it for this win?
Right now, the only trick they're doing is the whip.
Or a variation of the whip. Some variation of the whip.
And the thing is, when you commit to the whip, you got to stick it, hang on, crank the bars to the stops, hold it, and Carruthers ended up casing it, crashing, but anything can happen in the whip.
We've seen so many variations, but I don't think we've seen everything that's coming here tonight. I think at least one, maybe two people have got something up their sleeves for the next 5 minutes.
All right, so we've seen one 5-minute jam session. There will be another 5-minute jam session. You can see people texting in the audience here in Staples Center. You can do the same by texting 43776. Text an X to 43776, and they will send you your ballot. You will text back a letter to choose the rider that you think deserves to win Best Whip. A for Carruthers, B for Josh Grant, C for Todd Potter, D for Ronnie Renner, E for Miles Richmond, and F for Ricky Carmichael. RC competing here in Best Whip. We will also see him in the step-up competition, which happens tomorrow. Everybody that I talked to didn't like the rule that you had to ride out of it, but Ricky Carmichael went so big on the step-up last year. I expect to see more action from him similar to that tomorrow at step-up. He looks unstoppable, but Renner...
That rule was in there because people didn't ride out of step-up. They used to just get up and over that bar and toss the bike, so it's probably saved a few people, but Ricky is so good at step-up. He's so good at anything he does on a motorcycle.
Oh!
And so is this young man.
Yes, Potter bringing the heat, as we talked about. He just brought home a medal in the best trick, the bronze medal. Ronnie Renner, no stranger to gold medals in the step-up. And this is Miles Richmond, also known as Milo, one of the cats with just fabulous smooth style, getting the bike sideways. What do you think the fans are digging? You think they like the sideways like Richmond and Potter? They like it, Ricky. Oh, Brian Deegan, no-legger.
Oh, there it is, the no-legged whip.
There's that variation.
Yeah.
Ricky looks like he's coming up pretty short. He's almost decking that thing every time.
It's cool to see the racers against the freestylers. It's an epic battle building here today.
For my money, the crowd here at Staples, they're probably enjoying Todd Potter more than anybody here. Renner's got that big invert, but Potter is pulling such huge tricks.
I really like what Potter's doing because he's doing the one style whip, then he's arcing it sideways like we're seeing Miles Richmond right there. Ricky Carmichael we've seen go to the right whip and to the left whip, and we've seen the no-legged whip from him, of course. Will we see an inverted whip? That's the question at hand. And unknown to me, there could be a rule down there that they can't invert the whip. Potter.
It's cool to see Potter's never seen a checker flag. He's never raced a dirt bike in his life. The whip is something all about racing. People used to think you could only whip it if you raced a dirt bike. Well, Potter's turning the table, shutting down the odds, coming out, throwing them down, showing them what's up.
Brian Deegan on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Tess, it looks like the boys are kind of speeding it up. They're trying to pack in as many whips as they can. 3 minutes, a little bit less than 3 minutes left here as Josh Grant takes it in the multicolor gear, all blacked out bike. It's kind of like a militia'd out bike there, Brian.
Potter's getting it upside down. I think he's teaching Renner a thing or two right here. Renner's trying to copy the style. Here he comes, coming in. See if he can get it upside down. Here
Remember,
we go.
text your vote, text an X to 43776 in the United States. Normal text rates apply. And you will get a ballot back, and you can vote for the rider that you think deserves to win Best Whip.
You can see the line coming in. It's all white from the regular flips. They're carving it. Going out wide, coming in to get a good carve.
Oh,
there it is.
Josh Grant with a big one right there.
Hitting the rev limiter like Mike Jones.
Potter almost backwards. Brian, at what point is there no return on the whip that Potter and Richmond are doing where they throw the bike around, pass sideways? I mean, could they go all the way backwards and still bring it backward as the inertia of the bike? I mean, right there, it looks like he's almost halfway around.
You can get it all the way to a 180 and look backwards at the ramp and come back in and land it, but Chuck Carruthers, you can see it can go wrong.
Well, Chuck decking it, the only rider thus far to go down. We're at 90 seconds. This is the amount of time a normal freestyle run goes for. Potter loves Ricky Carmichael. He got a signed Ricky Carmichael jersey. This is a big thing for Potter. He was stoked to ride against him and step up at the Navy Moto-X World Championship earlier in the year, and now he gets to ride against him in Best Whip.
He's having fun. Both Miles and Todd Potter are looking really happy and comfortable here. One of the challenges I'm seeing, though, is Ronnie Renner to get enough pop.
Ricky Carmichael with the Gooner. That's something Brian Deegan would do for sure.
Absolutely. It's good to see Ricky out here having some fun because racing is all way too serious. When he's coming out here, X Games, I'm going to enjoy myself, get on my dirt bike, and have some fun.
When you see Renner going to his whip, what's happening is he's going really long. And I think that's kind of a problem for him. Watch him this time. He's trying to get right upside down, get a lot of pop, a lot of airtime, and I don't think he can do it here.
Potter with the white smoker going on.
Here we go. Potter's going for extra points up top, doing the burnout. Here we go. It's back to Sturgis. I think Renner's got cards in his spokes.
And check it out. Kenny Bartram is hanging out.
Decided to call it a day and put some straw in his mouth and chill.
The Cowboy Kenny Bartram. We've told you we saw Carey Hart here. Tons of BMXers. 1 second left, and Carmichael smashing it. Each rider looks like they're going to take another shot at it. It is freestyle motocross, and they are keen to break the rules at all times.
See Potter there. He looks like he's messing around with the bike. What's going to go?
Here we go. Tribute to Jones.
Cast your vote. Text an X to 43776. You will get your ballot, and you can vote for the rider that you so believe should win Best Whip here at X Games 14. Summer X in full effect. Loza and Burnquist taking home golds earlier tonight. Who will take the win in Moto X Best Trick? It will be your decision. People at home, the judges on the couch, that's right. The armchair quarterbacks have some power. Here we go. Ricky Carmichael.
Here we go. Carmichael, Potter, or Renner is what I'm calling, and I think it's going to be Potter.
Carruthers getting it upside down. Josh Grant with some style.
And then Todd
Potter.
Potter. Let's talk style. It's huge.
Ronnie Renner, who's your daddy, bringing it home.
Oh, looking back at the crowd.
And speaking of bringing it home, last shot, Miles Richmond. Let's send it back to
that's
Dana
good.
Jacobson at X Center.